Okay, so you've definitely heard the buzzword, but what is blockchain really? Today, we're going to cut through all the hype and get to the heart of the technology that people say could change, well, pretty much everything. Let's dive in.
Think about this for a second. Have you ever tried to send money to someone, maybe a friend or family member overseas, and just been shocked by the high fees? Or been told it's going to take 3 to 5 business days to get there? Yeah, it's a super common frustration, and it really gets at a core issue with how our money system works right now.
Well, the reason for all that hassle is almost always a middleman. You know, a bank or some other financial institution sitting right in the middle of your transaction, taking their cut and slowing things down. But what if we could just get rid of them? What if we could interact directly, but still securely?
And this slide, well, it really lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the old way of doing things. It's expensive, it's slow, and because everything relies on one central point, it's a huge target for hackers. But on the right, that's the promise of blockchain. Direct, peer-to-peer, super fast, way cheaper, and incredibly secure.
So how on earth does blockchain actually pull this off? Well, the best way to get your head around it is with a super simple analogy. Just think of it like a shared digital notebook. Let's break down what that really means.
So imagine this. Instead of a single bank keeping one big master record book or a ledger, what if everyone who uses the network gets their own identical copy of that book? And anytime something happens, like a new transaction, everyone's notebook gets updated at the exact same time. Because it's shared with everyone, it's public. And because it's spread out across the whole network, it's distributed. That's why we call it a public distributed ledger.
Okay, let's walk through a real example to see how this works. Let's say Jack wants to send some money to Elsa. First, his request gets broadcast out to this whole network of computers, which we call nodes. Now, all these nodes work together, kind of like a team of accountants, to check and make sure that, yep, Jack has the money and that the transaction is legit. Once they all agree, that transaction gets bundled up with a bunch of others onto a new page, or a block. And that new page is added to everyone's notebook. And just like that, the money is safely with Elsa.
Okay, so we've got these pages called blocks. But how do they all stick together? And what makes this whole thing so incredibly hard to mess with? This is where the real magic comes in. The cryptography that creates the blocks, the chains, and these digital unbreakable seals.
So each block or page in the notebook isn't just a list of who paid who. It's sealed with a unique, unbreakable digital fingerprint. We call it a hash. It's this long string of letters and numbers that's generated from the exact data inside that block. And get this, if you were to change even one tiny comma in a transaction, it would generate a completely different hash. It's a perfect digital signature for that exact chunk of information.
And this is the chain part of blockchain. It's brilliant, really. Each new block that gets added not only has its own unique hash, but it also contains the hash of the block that came right before it. This creates a powerful cryptographic link, chaining all the blocks together in a perfect, unbreakable sequence, all the way back to the very first one.
Okay, so this all leads to the big question, right? The one that really matters for any financial system. What happens if some hacker tries to go back and secretly change a transaction on an old page of the notebook? Here's the genius of it. If a hacker tries to alter an old transaction, the content of that block changes, and that means its unique hash, its digital fingerprint, also changes completely. Well, that instantly breaks the chain connecting it to the next block. It would set off a domino effect, invalidating every single block that came after it. The entire network would immediately see this broken chain and just reject the change. It's like a mathematical seal that shatters the second it's tampered with.
So that chain, that's one incredible layer of security. But there's another one, and honestly, it might be the most powerful part of all. It's the fact that this notebook isn't just in one place. It's shared by the whole crowd.
This decentralization is the absolute key. Look at the left. That's a normal, centralized network. All the data is in one place, like a bank server. If that server gets hacked or just goes offline, everything stops. Game over. But on the right, in a decentralized network, everyone has a copy. To cheat, a hacker wouldn't just have to change one ledger. They'd have to change the ledger on thousands, maybe millions of computers, all at the exact same time, and recalculate all the hashes for all the following blocks. It's just practically impossible.
And you know, this quote from our source material just sums it up perfectly. Because everyone holds a copy, the network basically polices itself. The crowd works together to spot any funny business and just throws it out. It's this incredible self-healing system.
Now, we all know about blockchain because of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, right? But the technology itself, wow, it's about so much more than just digital cash. The real potential here is creating a trustworthy, unchangeable record for pretty much anything we think is valuable. I mean, just think about the possibilities. You could have voting systems where every single vote is a permanent, unchangeable record that everyone can see. Or think about supply chains. Companies like Walmart are already using it to track food from the farm to the store in seconds, making sure it's safe. It could be used to stop insurance fraud, to finally give us real control over our own digital identities, or to create perfect, auditable accounting records. It's not just a new kind of database, it's a whole new way of trusting each other.
All right, so we've gone through this whirlwind tour of blockchain. So what's the one big idea you should really walk away with from all this?
Here it is. The most crucial thing to remember is that blockchain, at its core, is a technology for creating trust. But it's not trust in a person or a company or a government. It's trust in a shared, transparent, and mathematically unbreakable system. It lets us all agree on what's true without needing a middleman to verify it for us.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. As we move forward, just think about it. What other parts of our world, from how we own a house to how we sign a contract, could be completely rebuilt on a foundation of trust in code instead of trust in institutions that can sometimes fail us? It's a powerful thought. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.